make sure that you are looking at core byte number 27. That is the number that we will be doing today. Number 1 is circled. You should know what that means. That will be on your next core byte quiz. I am not going to give you a hint for number 1 because we have done so many of these problems. So I want you to pause your video and write your answer to number 1 in the blank. You should have chosen the answer to number 1 as A. The correct answer to number 1, the ratio of red marbles to blue marbles is 3 to 4. So just a reminder, because red is mentioned first in the question, you would put that number 3 first in your ratio. Blue is mentioned last in the question. That number goes last in your ratio. So it's 3 to 4. If you missed that one, make sure that you understand why. Number 2, you should not need a hint for. It says which number is a factor of both 2 and 6. In other words, which of these numbers will divide evenly into both of those. Pause your video and answer number 2. The correct answer for number 2 was A. 2 is the only number that will go evenly into both 2 and 6. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Let's look at choice B. 3 goes into 6, but it does not go into 2. So B would not have been your correct answer. C is not correct because 4 does not divide evenly into both 2 and 6. And D was not correct because 6 does divide evenly into 6, but 6 does not divide evenly into 2. So the correct answer was 2. Make sure if you missed that, you understand why. Now, number 3, we're going to actually kind of walk this through together because this is the first time we've had one of these where you have to graph points in all 4 sections of the coordinate grid. I want you to pause your video and I want you to number the 4 sections of the coordinate grid. Alright, now that you have labeled section 1 or quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4 of your coordinate grid, you always want to start in the center. That is called the origin. So I want you to put your pencil point right here in the center and hold it there. And we're going to graph or plot all of these points that are listed. So point A tells us to go to positive 3, negative 3. That means we're going to go over 3 units to positive 3, and then we're going to go down 3. And I want you to put a point here. Let me make that red. And we're going to name that A. Pause your video and graph point A. Now we're going to graph or plot point B. So if you look at the ordered pair, it tells you that it is located at 3, 3. I want you to start in the center again. Hold your pencil in the center at the origin. And because this first number is a positive, that means we're going to move to the right, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go up, 1, 2, 3. Put a point and label it B. Pause your video and graph point B. Alright, point C, start at the origin again, and this time you should see negative 3 is our first number, so that tells me to go to the left on my horizontal number line, and I'm going to go over 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go up, because this is a positive number, that tells me to go up. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Put a point, label it C. Pause your video and graph point C. The last point is located at negative 3, negative 3. So let's start in the origin again. Put your pencil point there. And because it's negative, that means we're going to move left 3. And then the second number is a negative, so that tells us to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Put a point there and label it D. Pause your video and graph that point. Now that you have all 4 points graphed, we're just going to connect these and make a shape. And I want you to study that shape and write the name of the shape in blank 3. Pause your video and do that now. You should have written square. If you look at the shape that was formed when we graphed all 4 points of our ordered pairs, you see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on that side. Because the sides are equal, that forms a square. The last one, your hint for number 4 is I want you to turn back over to core byte number 25, and I want you to read your definition of median that you should have written down when you did core byte number 25 this week. Pause your video and look back at that definition and then answer number 4. Now that you have gone back and you have looked at your definition of median, you should have read that the median is the number in the middle of a set of data, which means this statement is false. There can only be one median because it is the value that is in the middle. Now, we can have more than one mode, and we'll talk about that later, but you can only have one median. So if you missed this one, I want you to go back and read your definition, which you should have written down on core byte number 25. You should have that definition written down. So go back and make sure you understand why you missed this. Okay, we are done with core byte number 27. So you know where you should put this.